Listen, I already know what you're thinking. Listen, this sounds great, but I've heard this before. Like, how do I know you're different at all? I'm about to show you exactly how we're different. All right, so most agencies or lead generation companies that you work with, they're going to give you a system like this. It's going to be basic lead generation on the front end, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be, and they're probably going to really hype that up and make it a big deal. But long story short, they're getting you leads. Maybe those leads are scheduling on an appointment. Maybe they have setters calling them, but they're getting those leads to, book themselves on a calendar. And then all of the follow-up and whatnot is going on to you. They're expecting that you call these appointments. They're expecting that you do all the follow-up, which leads to frustration. It leads to falling behind and feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you get one or two leads that close, but ultimately this is a complete volume game, and a lot of the stress and the real work falls on the client's shoulders, which leads to unhappy clients who feel like they don't like the system that they got. What you're going to be getting with us is Media Simplified's two-tier nurturing system. With Media Simplified, we're going to run top-tier ads, getting you the best leads possible. Yes, we're going to convert those into appointments using automations, appointment setters, people calling and whatnot. We're already going to take it a step further because we're going to integrate with your main application, whether that's Arrive or Blend or you use one in-house. We're going to be sending people to your main application to get that app started for you ahead of time. And then this is where the magic starts to happen. After they fill out that application, we're going to send them over to your tier 1 caller. So you have an appointment caller who's working your entire account from appointments to leads. They're calling everyone every single day and pretty much cherry picking all of the best, highest intent, hottest leads that you should be calling or spending your energy or time on that day. As your caller is sending over more pre-qualified applicants that they've spoken with, it's going into your cherry-picked bin of hot leads. We have a tier 2 setter, which is called the Rover, who's going to be constantly interacting with you, getting feedback on where they're at with their application. Do they need any documents? Do we need to talk with their co-signer? So that not only you, but you and your Rover are constantly keeping track of where your pipeline's at, and you have someone who's helping all of these people get from application to documents to escrow to close. And this constant feedback between you and the Rover on these hot leads is what's going to allow us to close deals constantly, close them consistently, and make sure no one's going stagnant or stale in the pipeline, and that everybody that fills out an application with you eventually gets all the way to the close. All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. Thank you for jumping on and spending your busy day learning how to grow your business. It's a great sign that you are serious about this. So I'm going to do a quick room check before we get started. Just want to make sure everyone that's here is in the right place. You should be here if you are a mortgage professional, a broker, a lender, a loan officer that's looking to scale and get more deals. You should not be here if you're someone who's interested in getting a mortgage or getting a loan. This is not for you. Quick thing, I'm going to, being that, there's no audio or cameras for you guys, just when I ask questions, I'm just going to ask that you do drop a 1 in the chat, which is on the homepage. You should be able to open up the chat, and it just helps make sure that you guys are kind of understanding what I'm saying and make sure everything's landing. So my goal is really in the next 30 minutes, not even 60. I'm going to show you how to close more deals in the next 30 days without wasting your time or money on terrible leads. So I'm going to go over an intro to who we are. I'm going to go over our systems first philosophy, how we get leads to appointments to applications to close deals. I'm going to show you some live client accounts that we work on. And then I'm going to show you the business accelerators. And for everybody in attendance, I have a number of free gifts that I'm going to provide you. And then at the end, if anybody is interested in working with us, and I've provided enough value for you guys, then I would love the opportunity to offer some solutions to those who might be interested. All right, so if you could give me a 1 in the chat, just so I can make sure everybody's on page. Awesome. Thank you guys for the participation. It helps. All right, so we'll roll straight into it. Before I take advice from anybody, I want to make sure they know what they're talking about, right? So if I'm going to get fitness advice, the person better be in good shape. If I'm going to get stock advice, they better see great returns. If you're going to listen or take marketing advice from us, you want to make sure that we know what we're talking about. So we have flown all over the country and worked hand in hand with some of the biggest producing teams in the country. We've spoken on stage at some of the biggest conferences across the country. We've amassed over 100 plus reviews across the different trust sites. We have an A+ rating on BBB. We have over 780 loan officers that follow us for our educational content. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds at this point, on consultants, education, things to shortcut not only ours, but your learning curve. And ultimately, we're the longest standing company in the game doing this. We have a team of upwards of 20 people now, all based right here in West Palm Beach. We worked with over 1,000 loan officers in our last decade of doing this. And this is really a system made with loan officers for loan officers. And in my opinion, it's the only system of its kind, not just leads, not just a CRM, but a real system. And I hope to show you what we do and either equip you to do this yourself or to use some of the tools that we give you along the way. This is my team. This is who helps bring my system to life. This is also who plugs into our client's business. When a loan officer signs up with us, they get all of these people that are working as their marketing department kind of bolted onto their business. Everybody trained and working right here in the US in Florida. We've worked with every square inch of the industry, from the Guild and the Fairway Mortgages all the way over to the Nexas and the Barretts and everything in between. And we understand what you don't want versus what you do want. You don't want to waste your time and money on leads that are broken, low quality. You don't want to chase leads around that are impossible to get a hold of. And you don't want to risk your time and money and get nothing from the investment. What you do want is you want leads to be qualified for income, credit, and intent. You want to close deals with no crazy change in your day-to-day. And you want your marketing budget to pay for itself quickly and multiple times over. Give me a 1 in the chat if that seems like a fair assessment. Awesome. Agreed. So now that we've established that, here is the ingredients that any good system should have. Okay, so this is kind of a 30,000 foot view. You need to have a CRM system. All right, so we need to have one location where everything's happening. We need training on that system. This is kind of the master hub of where you're going to be operating. We need lead gen, the lifeblood of what's going to fill that operating system up. The LOS integration. So we want to make sure once they start an application, that is connected to your CRM so that they're communicating. Coaching and accountability. This goes hand in hand with the appointment setting and live transfers. There's a reason that trainers are still in high demand, right? Like anybody can go on ChatGPT and figure out what workouts to do, but that accountability is massive. And the appointment setting and live transfers. This is going to make sure you have an engine going at all times, pushing your business forward. All right, we have list reactivation and automations. This is going to be some secret sauce. This is why everybody that's on this call is here, is because of this one here. Then we'll go over our playbooks and reporting on how we can get a cost per close so we can really scale our marketing. All right, so we believe no lead source under the sun is going to outperform a bad system. So what we want is a system first that can squeeze every bit of juice out of any lead source. And then we worry about, getting the best leads. So we'll get straight into it and talk about the first kind of ring in this ladder, which is going to be the leads, right? The lifeblood of the marketing. So we have two different types of leads. We have interruption-based and intention-based leads. Interruption-based is going to be your social media, your Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, where they're not looking, but they're scrolling online, and we interrupt them with an ad, and they engage. They say, yes, I'm interested. Intention-based marketing is going to be your people who are Google searching, find a broker near me, get pre-approved now. And there's pros and cons to both. The interruption-based marketing, the social media stuff, you can get a lot of leads. You can get them early in the buying process, but you need a lot of follow-up. Whereas the intention-based, it's going to be a much higher quality lead, but it's going to cost more. It's going to be a lower volume. And ultimately, this is what it looks like. So interruption-based marketing, the interest when you get a lead like this from Facebook is usually very low. So they're at the beginning of their journey of potentially buying a home. So they're just warming up to the idea. They engage with their lead or your ad, and we need a system that's going to continue working these people all the way until the point where they actually decide, hey, I'm gonna do this. because they warm up to the point where they say, hey, I'm going to start looking for this. And this is when they become an intention-based lead, when they actually start searching for mortgage broker near me, approval near me. So social media is going to allow you to capture them early, but you need a system that's going to stay in front of them. Now, if you don't stay in front of them, you eventually lose that deal and they go out and start looking, right? Now we need a system that if they go and they opt into your Google ad here, we need a system that's going to capture them really quickly and get on it. So slightly different than the social media stuff. You need to work these leads over time. Whereas the intention based, you need a system that's going to get a hold of them and convert, because quickly that interest is going to fall off a cliff. And it's going to be harder and harder to convert them. Okay, so with our system, ideally you have something that can do both of these things. And here's some examples of like intention based versus social or interruption based. Intention based, that's actually people out looking for things. So you have sites like USDA loans, FHA.com, Realtor.com, rate tables, and then your interruption based is going to be, social media ads that they're being delivered while they're scrolling. All right, so when you work with us, we try and give you the best recipe of both. We have partnerships with some of the best lead sources in the country. We also produce a lot of our own in-house leads. All right, so on average, when you spend $1,000 to $1,500 a month in ad spend, this is what that should look like when you have good leads and a good system. Anywhere from 50 to 70 leads, anywhere from 15 to 20 appointments, anywhere from 5 to 10 full applications, and anywhere from 1 to 3 closes. All right, and then after we get you great leads, we need to get those leads into the CRM. All right, so we recommend a high-level white-labeled CRM. We have Grow Simple that our clients get that's fully built out for them. And a free gift that I'm going to give you is you're going to get a snapshot that we use with High Level if you're looking to do this by yourself. All right, so pretty straightforward on this one. We want to get great leads and put them into a great CRM. We just recommend you do this right the first time, and don't hire just anybody. Hire someone who knows the mortgage industry. It doesn't have to be us, but hire someone that knows the mortgage industry and is going to do this entire build for you. All right, and then step 3 is the qualifying call. So we get you the best lead, we put it into the best technology. Now we need to have really good calls on the front end. All right, so the way to do this is really 3 steps. Have a world-class script. Okay, so it doesn't need to be long, but it needs to be something that you're following that is the same every time. You need to make sure that script helps you combat the first 2 minutes. That's usually where all of the skill of the call comes in, is in that first 30 seconds to 2 minutes. So you want your script to be ready for that, and you want it to be kind of emphasizing the tonality so that you do this right. And you want to make sure you get the application before you get off the phone. You don't have to get the entire application, but we've all had those calls where you have a great call with someone, they seem like a perfect fit, and you say, hey, I'm going to email you my application, and then 2 weeks goes by and you haven't heard from them and you get no app. So when you get someone on a call, make sure before you hang up, you say, hey, before we jump off the call, I'm going to send you this link. I want to make sure we get you into my application portal. And as long as they're in the portal, you can get off the call. You don't have to do the entire thing with them. If you can, even better, but get them into the portal so that you don't have that friction of them getting started. And then another little gift that I'm going to give to everybody here, we have our actual script that we use. Once again, it doesn't have to be a long, ugly thing. This is very simple, but something that we'll provide to everybody here to help you with your cold calls. All right. So we'll keep it rolling here. With our appointment setters, we train and certify all of our setters in-house. They're not just getting you calls. They're not just getting you appointments. They're organizing the account. They're staying on top of things, really acting as your assistant. And when when you get a good one, this is what it should sound like. So give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear the audio in this. All right, so we don't have to listen to the whole thing, but you get the gist. Like once you get a good setter, they can really change your business. They can help you tremendously. So that's step three, right? So we're getting you the best leads. We're putting it into the best technology. We're having really good setters qualify, or you're using the script to have really good calls on the front end. We want to take it a step further, right? We want to get everybody that we have conversations with to start an application, which is why it's really important that you integrate with your LOS system so that when they cross that line in the sand and become an app, your CRM is being updated for tracking, for notes, and it really allows you full clarity on what's happening with your leads. All right. And when you do this all properly, here's an example of what this can look like. This is a client that went live not long ago, roughly 220 leads after month 3. So roughly 55 per month. Ended up with a 40% contact rate. So we got a hold of 90 people. We took 26 full applications and closed 6 deals in his first 3 months. Everything I show you with us is very under promised and over delivered. We have we have clients that blow these numbers out of the water, but I like to show things that are easily replicatable. So this is what it can look like when you do this properly. And I'll go ahead and show you kind of some live client accounts to show you what I mean. All right, let me share my screen here. All right, so every client that signs up with us, you're going to get a custom dashboard. That obviously, like we said, we're big on reporting. So you're going to get a full breakdown so you can constantly know how many new leads, conversations, apps, closed deals you have, all the way down to conversations per user, upcoming appointments per user, like all the reporting you could need. We also do all of the tracking of your applications and whatnot. So as your apps are moving along, as we talk with someone, we get an application. We're tracking each milestone that they go through along the way, from application to doc submitted, contract received. And this is what gives us that really clear idea of where are the best leads coming from, which agents are reporting the best. It's kind of taking a second to load due to my screen share. Just let me show another count. So this is the opportunities stage where, like I said, we are tracking more so the milestone stages. I'm going to refresh because this is moving slow. All right, there we go. So as mentioned, all of the all the milestones tracked here, and I'll show you another client account just to give you an idea of like what a solo producer can look like. So when we come in here, I showed you like the dashboard and the reporting, but also tracking all contacts. So if I come into like app complete, we look at these notes on the right-hand side. This is a client that was fully referral based. They didn't really do any leads. And if you look over here, we go through these notes, closing this week, pre-approved, closing this week. Let's see, closed, under contract, closed, pre-approved, and this is one solo producer that is now fully self-reliant on the leads that he gets from us, and we do all of the heavy lifting. So I'll even come in here and show you what I mean. We do all the heavy lifting for the outreach to get people on the line, get the communication going, and set you guys up with live transfers and appointments and whatnot. All right, so coming back to this, so we're almost done. We've went over the meet the team. We went over our loan launch philosophy. We talked about how we go from lead to appointment to application to close. Went over some live client accounts. Last few things I have for you when it comes to branding. To put some of your mind at ease, you don't need to be a content or branding, professional. You don't need to have the best Facebook on the planet. Really, you're not going to get a lot of business from like your social media posts. But what happens is as you start to do marketing, you start doing paid ads, leads are going to come in and they're going to book with you or they're going to start chatting with you. And at some point, they're probably going to go do research on you. They're going to go look up your name and see, what they can find. Now, if they go and they do research and they find, a great website and a Facebook and YouTube and there's some posts on there and you have some Google reviews, it's just going to make it a higher likelihood that they choose you. Now, if they don't find those things, it's not like they're not going to choose you, but it's not going to increase the likelihood that they go with you. So really, that's the goal, to have that foundation of social media, YouTube, and all these things. You don't need to be posting every day, but if you have the foundation, it's just out there so that when people start to come into your orbit and look you up, they are reaffirmed that you're the authority that you're saying you are. All right, and we have another free gift for you in the loan launch playbooks. This is all of the plays that we run with our clients to get more social media, more reviews, more videos, like everything that you could need. Another free gift that I'm going to offer for you. And then the reactivations. So if you take anything from this call, make sure that you are starting to build a system in your business. So any lead or application or customer you have gotten at any point, if you don't have all of those on a Google sheet, that's your step one. Because we have clients that come in, for example, like this, they come in with a big list of old leads that they haven't touched. This client came in with about 1,900 aged leads from Zillow and Realtor.com and all these different sites they used over the years. And in 1 week of hitting these leads, we had 62 calls initiated that were longer than 2 minutes, 47 appointments set for the team, and 11 full applications in 1 week's time from a list that they were completely writing off. So we want to make sure that all of your leads that you've ever gotten and ever paid for are in one place. All right, we have some client success testimonials, which I'm not going to make you sit through, but we have hours of it on our website. And as I mentioned, we have a free gift for everybody here, which is going to be our Loan Launch GPT. This is loaded with all of our education, all of our checklists, all of our YouTube videos is in one place. A souped up chat GPT that's just for mortgage brokers. That is going to be my gift to you. You can scan this QR, but it's going to be easier. I actually have all of these gifts for you in one place. I'm going to drop this in the chat for you real quick so you guys can all access this. And I'm going to share this tab instead. All right, so I just dropped that link in the chat. All of the gifts that I am giving away on this webinar, all you do is go to this link, and the code here is going to be LAUNCH, LAUNCH. We hit unlock gifts, and you're going to get access to everything that I just went over. Our only request is that if you would leave us some feedback on what you thought of the webinar. I will say today is definitely if you feel like I'm going fast, I am, believe me. Usually we do this in twice the amount of time, but due to a time crunch, I had to kind of shorten it. But I wanted to make sure I show up for everybody, and I'm going to be here to get this done. So you'll have access to all these free gifts. And now that we've gone through everything, I would love the opportunity to set some appointments with those who are interested in chatting with us, to do a follow-up call after this where we can get kind of more in detail and not be such a speed run. So does anybody have some availability with, say, in the next 30 minutes to an hour that they want to set up a call? and you can drop it in the chat. Any questions? Go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you want to go ahead and set a time after this for a follow-up. And we will contact you after this call. All right. Well, I think that's everything. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We'll follow up after this call with everyone. And once again, apologies that it was so short. I know it's usually a little bit longer, but I wanted to make sure to show up and get this done. So thank you all for your time. If you have any questions,